Hi everyone, it's Jules by Jude. I'm here today. I'm going to give out a little bit of a try here with some of these new clays to me. And they are the Kato Polyclay. And I did get a little feel for it a little bit earlier today, but it wasn't something that was video worthy. So I do know a little bit about it just today though. Based on today. So what you see in front of me are some of the things that I'm going to be using today. It's going to be, this is a Body Works candle lid. It's very textured and it smells good too. I think it's the limoncello. Anyways, I'm not promoting that, but this is what I do use for a texture plate sometimes, different versions of these caps, okay? And it just gives you an idea of that. Hey, you think I've already did a video on them, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But at any rate, I'm going to try this new clay out, okay? And this is my plexiglass presser. I use this to press down. I'm using Opal Magic and maybe some other micro powders. And I have my roller, as you can see. So a lot of these are just typical polymer clay items that most people have if they're doing polymer clay. If not, you can find them at your local craft store, most of it, okay? I have my blades, and always be careful about which side's up, which side's not, because they're extremely sharp, okay? So let's get started. What I want to do is I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way for now. Oh, and my bottle of water, guys. You'll see that later. Anywho, let's try this. What I'm going to do is open up some of these packs of clay I've gotten today, and I did not get mine on the internet, just so you know. They are white, turquoise, blue, just regular blue, and regular white. Now I did go to Hobby Lobby to get these, and I got 40% off of one, I believe, because they have pretty much a standard 40% off. Most of the craft stores do. So I paid regular price. If I like the clay, and I did like what I used it for today, by the way, but it's a harder clay, and I did not get to bear 2 ounces. They're 2-ounce bricks. I haven't done anything with them because the whole point of this video, basically, we are going to make a pendant, but basically really it's just to try out this clay. So as soon as I can get it open, I probably could have had it open for y'all, but I'm sorry about that. And it's sticking quite well to the packaging. There we go. Some glue, or I'm sorry, that's turquoise. And this is the blue. Now, I've heard mixed things about this, but I can tell you that there are some times where I really wish I had a harder clay rather than a softer one. And I have had to put some of my clay inside of my refrigerator to make it stiffen so that I can use it for different things. So that is a delay. However, this clay, I'll have to see how it plays out, okay? Now I am going to use the white at first, and basically, let me just do, no, I'm going to do the full 2 ounces, guys, because I probably want this thick enough in the end. So what I'm going to do is try to get this down to a size that I can put through my pasta machine. It has this smooth, leathery texture to it. That's the only way I can describe it at this point. And I want to see if the baking and the process pays off with that concept in mind. I don't know much about it. I just seen that Hobby Lobby has been carrying it, quite a bit of it, considering I can't find it at Joann's or Michael's as of yet. If I do, I'll let you know. Of course, it could be a local thing. So now I'm going to put this through my pasta machine on my thickest, and my thickest is a 7. And it is going through, and I've got some pressure on that. There we go. Yeah. I do have some ripples, and I have picked up a bit of a clay over here. Let's cut that off. And I'm going to cut that off. I want to double up on this. That's just the way I roll. So it'll be 2 7s, right? That's how we'd call it. 7 7. 2 thicknesses of 7. I'm just lightly rolling here at this point. Okay? Just like so. Now, I want to just make sure they're joined, and they appear to be so. And I want to change the thickness. I'm just going to shore that up. It just bothers me. Alright. Next up would be my texture plate. And what I want to do is get ready to transfer this over onto a piece of wax paper. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, now is texture time. I just want a portion of this texture. I'm going to push in. Sometimes you have to use water, sometimes you don't. Well, we're going to find out with this clay at this point if we do. Ordinarily, with some of the other clay, I would have to. Now, this clay has thinned out a little bit. I'm just going to hold this like this. I want to roll this. I just really want a nice little print from here. I'm going to do a couple pendants with the same texture plate. Different colors. I want to bake them. Let's take a peek, shall we? Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, it's coming off. And looks like I have some texture in there. So what I'm going to do at this point is see where I can get some opal-like texture across the top. I really like that. There we go. Now, some of it did not go all the way in, and this, like I said, was a very thick and stiff clay. Some went in really well, as you can see. And I'm going to just brighten this up a little bit more, maybe with some more mica. A hint of gold, maybe. Let's try that and see what happens. I did not get my, okay. I'm going to try this over here. A lot of this is, you know, trial and error. Trial and error. There we go. There we go. I don't want to press down too hard. Just not feeling it with the fingers. No, I'm going to use my brush on this one. There we go. You can get cutters at all different places. You can get texture plates everywhere, even in your own home, as you can see. I utilize some of my used some of my stuff at home here. Came out really well. I'm just going to wipe up a little bit of this here. Let's see, it didn't stick too much. It's still kind of thick. I'm going to put this right here. Oh, good, right. It's okay. Let's see here. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for right there. So I'm going to take this plastic and I'm going to place it over my clay. And this is going to bevel the clay for me when I push it through. And that saves me a lot of time. Okay. Now, I'm going to do a little like that because I'm going to push kind of hard because this clay is very stiff. But earlier today it came out okay as far as the cutting process, so I didn't have any issues with that. And there we go. I'm going to get my baking sheet out. I am going to transfer this onto my sheet. I'm not going to put a hole or anything on that right now. I want you to see that. I like that part because that shows me that the clay will lift. And it's, even though it does feel kind of sticky, it really does, guys. It does. It's not that it doesn't stick and that you can't work with it. It's just not real soft. So I'm going to wipe off my texture plate, and I'm going to take the blue, and I'm going to do the same as I did with my white a moment ago. Wipe off my items so that I don't transfer any clay. It's always advisable. I may end up with a little bit of this and a little bit of that by the time I'm done because I'm working with some really fine mica powders and whatnot. So, alright, I'm going to see if this fits through my machine, okay? It is a little bit difficult to push it through. And now it's coming out pretty, it's breaking up a little bit. I want to show you. But you see, it's the whole purpose of the video is to show you how this is working out for me. Some people like it, some people do not. The first one, the white, worked out great. I did not have this issue with that one, so we roll this out some more. And really feel like this is about the only way I can do this is to roll this out like this. So, and I'll tell you, it's a challenge. But I really want to know, is this an option for me when I want to use a stiffer clay? That's what I want to know. And so far, it's been a little bit of a challenge, especially with this this is turquoise. I'm not entirely sure that the color matters. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to put it through the pasta machine and let the pasta machine do what the pasta machine does. You hear my little bit of a struggle there. Now look, that's much better. It's staying together. So, and I did transfer some color from here. Look, see how it sticks? It does stick. It's not that it doesn't stick, guys. And that's why I used my wax paper too. I'm warming this clay up, hoping that it's going to do what any other clay does when you need to work it. You need to definitely condition this blue. They were bought at the same time, at the same store, at the same location, in the store, everything. So the white was easier to work with, as you saw me do, and that's the whole purpose of the video to some degree. I mean, I want you to see it cooked and everything, and I'll get to that point at the end where I do bake it. Together, this is looking like it's going to hang out with me for a while, I think. And this is 2 ounces. This is a brick. You know, I'm used to using Sculpey and Primo. There we go. I'm going to stop at this. Now I'm going to put a little bit of spray on here because I just feel like that's something I want to do. I'm going to press this in and try not to have this move. And when I do this type of texture, I think it should be said that I don't necessarily need the whole section to come out for me. I am looking for a very designated area in most of the time. I could probably make some earrings or something out of the rest of this, but I'm looking just like I am when I look at a stone. I do stone work, and when I look at a stone and I cut that cab out, I'm looking for the best part of the stone. Just the best part. Sometimes it's the size, sometimes it's the design. All kinds of things take place in that thought process and that designing of that piece. So one day I'll be getting into that and showing y'all as soon as I get used to this type of videotaping and this type of teaching and whatnot. That's what my goal is. So just to let you know that when I do this with this type of a texture plate, when I pull it back, it doesn't have to be a complete perfect design. It just has to be something that I can use with my original intent. Otherwise, I put it all back together and start over again. So that's why when you see me sometimes look at something and I say, oh, that turned out great. You know, other people are like, really? Does she even know what she's doing? And I'm like, well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But in that case, I do. Now this is lifting up, which is not what I wanted to do. So let me tell you that I didn't anticipate doing that. It has done it to me in the past with other clays. So I'm going to do is to stop that, hopefully. See how that worked? Now the roller is not sticking to the clay and pulling the clay up. So I have a better chance of having a really decent texture under there. And this time I'm just really playing it out just to see how much I can get texture wise out of the clay. Now that's pretty cool because this is really not temperamental. Meaning, you know, I don't need to push this and it's all distorted. So to me, that's good for this. In other clays and other projects, nah, not so much. So what I'm going to do now is put some mica on this. And this is not a double. By the way, this is a single. Be a very thin one for me. That's how I see it, as a thin one. This could go either way. These are those ones that change colors. They're mica shifts and stuff. So this might be one of them. I think it is. So, for sure. It's a pretty blue too when it comes out like that. Inside I really like this section here. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's see what that comes out like. Alright, it's going to be the last one because I want the video to be tremendously long and I don't know what I'll be adding in later. So this is a thinner. I'm not going to have to press as hard. We may even get some earrings out of this. If I do, I'll show you later. I'm starting to change my mind. I don't like that. I like this. this, guys. Put you out of your misery. Alright. Hello, I got cut off. My camera shuts off. And they just came out. This is my test with the Kato Polyclay. This is the very thin one, just so you know. That came out to, well, I put it in my machine on my 7, which is my thickest, but when I pressed it into the clay, it probably thinned out a little bit more. So that's what this is. Not sure exactly about this yet. It's curved up a little bit. I don't know, maybe if that was my fault or the clay's fault, but I still like it. This is the doubled up 7, which means double thickness of 7 is my thickest, so it was double, and again, it was pushed down. Now I've sanded this one some, and all I'm doing, I'm not sanding the top, I'm sanding the sides to soften those up. And then I'm going to show you how I put on the resin on top of it. Use your regular sandpaper, and in this case we're not polishing, we're just taking off some of these rough edges on the sides. There's no polish involved, so I will see you again once I have finished sanding these, drying these, and that the resin is ready to apply. See you then. Okay, all washed off. Let me dry them off. I got all that dust off of them. I mixed up my resin, and this is how I'm going to apply it, and then we're going to wait, and I will be back to show you exactly how they came out. Okay, now this is my resins all mixed up, and I'm going to dip my brush in here, and I'm just going to go over this slightly. And I know that a lot of people like to cap it a certain way, and I'm going to try this way. See how this one works. So this is really just the resin on top with my brush. There we go. I want to bring it to the edge as much as possible. I'm going to turn this around. There we go. I'm hoping this gets in here where exactly. So I'm just going to add to it gradually. I want to bring that out to my edges a little bit. It's looking pretty good from this angle, guys. Let's see here. Let's see. You can see where it's taking, but it's interesting. Now this is the Kato Polyclay. This is the entire process of me using it from beginning to end, as far as conditioning, rolling, pasta machine, baking, texture plating, quote unquote. Okay, and then last but not least, of course, is going to be the resin, how it takes this resin. And resin is a funny kind of thing anyway, so we'll have to just see. Do I like it? I do. I do like it. But I'm not really sure if I'm ready to commit. It does feel different, and it definitely is stiff. And but as far as the baking is concerned, I think it's a plus. It bakes, and it's very strong feeling, but it's also strong feeling all the way through. Now this piece I may have an issue with because of the curvature in the piece. So we're going to give that the benefit of the doubt. And you know resin has a tendency to pull back, so you have to keep an eye on it. Well, I see a little bit missing over here. I don't know how that looks like on camera, but so I will see you once the resin has dried. Hi everybody. This is the end result. I like how everything came out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, subscribe and share. Thanks. Jules by Jude. This is the finished pendant.